Okay, I'll try to keep this as short as I can because there's dozens and dozens and dozens of videos about this already. But this is yet another video of converting BMW from automatic to manual. But in this case, we have a 1989 M20 that was originally a 4-speed and is now a 6-speed manual. As we'll be now demonstrating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reverse. And all looks much the same under there as when we started off. So, what did I need exactly to convert this thing? Starting at the back of the car, the diff is much the same as it was. It's a 4.1 to 1 because I couldn't find anything else suitable at the time, but that'll be fixed in due time. Prop shaft is from a 1993 525i automatic touring US spec that was a little bit too short and had to be lengthened by 11 centimeters. Moving on to the gearbox, which is from a 07320D and bolts right up. There is a bottom part of the engine, a brace of some kind. Nothing will bolt into that, so you don't necessarily need to use it. I still have it on mine, but I will more than likely try and tap it or do something with it. The flywheel and clutch 320D dual mass, again, that's all I had at the time, and I'll have the time now to try and find something a bit more suitable. Starter 320D. Now, interesting fact about the starter was it doesn't have the what do you call it? The unloader relay terminal. So it has your standard solenoid and power in. So to get around that, I had to dismantle the solenoid of the starter. I had to convert the top half of the pins to set screws. Put in said set screws. I got them from a diesel Avensis, a 061, by the way, if you're wondering. And then I was able to use that as an earthing point for the unloader relays. Otherwise, when you start the car, you can ground the relay at all times, but it's not going to knock off the likes of the radio, for example, or your lights or whatever the unloader relay does. So that's all they do. The gear lever, yes, the gear lever is from, what am I saying it's from? It's from nothing. It's a generic adjustable short shifter, and you can see the throw is very, very short on it. And we'll find out what it's like to drive shortly, I suppose. But yeah, basically it's a chassis mounted one. I couldn't be arsed fluting around trying to figure out what I need to chop, what will fit close to it, blah, 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 blah. So I said I'd just go for a chassis mounted one, and it works really well. It's very, very nice to use. The linkage, so from the bottom of the gear lever to the gearbox, that was an interesting one. I ended up making a measuring device for it out of a turbo exhaust bracket, turbo holding bracket, something like that anyway. It made it adjustable so I could bolt it in. So when I was happy enough that I was sitting dead in the center, I tightened it all up with the 2 screws. I'll try and splice in some pictures or videos of that. And basically it was the exact measurement, the exact length I needed, should I say. So I got the 320D linkage, cut it and welded it up to suit, and so far so good. Now, another fun thing, pedals. Don't be a gobshite and assume you need a pedal box. Some of these early cars have the provision for a third pedal, so just check that before you go buying a pedal box, because it's a pain in the arse to take out the column and change all that shite in there. So I was able to buy all those pedals new from BMW, and they were fairly cheap. I think the brake pedal and the clutch pedal were 90 euros between the two of them. The master cylinder I was able to buy from a local motor factors. There was other bits and pieces as well. So the brake pedal, for example, there needs to be it's not a shim, it's a collar that goes through the center of it. When you take out the automatic brake pedal, you'll get the collar out of the middle of it. That's fine. The clutch pedal, however, comes with nothing like that. So, and you can't buy them from BMW, so I was told anyway. So I bought 2 brass bushes for an E36, I think it was an E36. Yep, E36. I'll try and get a photo of them now afterwards. And still found out that it was way too much play in it. So I ended up getting an aluminium pipe, shaving it to suit as a spacer in the middle, and got it to where there was practically no slop in it. I'll try and find a video of that as well, and have it somewhere. But yeah, and as a result, it all works perfect. Now, there is a stop that's meant to go into the back of that. You don't really need it because you can see that one's fine. It's kind of a return spring, but again, it's okay. The grommets you can get new from BMW. Let's see, can I, again, might need a, and you can see my custom line all the way from the master cylinder to the slave cylinder, which is still standard 320D modified to take the custom hardline. I think that's it. Oh yeah, the electrics. Yeah, sorry, that was it for the mechanical part. The electrics, I don't need to go through that because there's tons and tons and tons of guys out there who do that. But essentially there's 2 things you need to do. Number 1, there's 1 wire from 1 plug, you plug it into another plug, and it gets rid of the trans program error. And the second one is the reverse lights. So the reverse lights, the switch that I used was from the 320D. I got the wire as far as I could. The original shifter cable that was here, I took it out of its grommet and fed the through it, fed the reverse light cables through it, and they're all wired up in there. But yeah, and how this car sounds with a 320D starter. But as you can see, I love old cars. Now I'll splice this in because I missed a couple of things on that when reviewing this. So, clutch, this is from an earlier style 320D, 330, well this one's from a 330D actually. Note, 10 splines won't work with the gearbox because the gearbox is a later 6-speed that has 22 splines. As well as that, it also, the pilot bearing is built into the flywheel as opposed to the crankshaft with these. Number 2, the transmission mounting bracket bolts up from the automatic. But if you use it directly on the gearbox, first of all, it doesn't really fit 100%. And number 2, if you bolt it to the car in that configuration, it'll send the transmission way too high that the prop will never align properly. So I found, with a bit of measurement, it's 3 centimeters you need to space the bracket from the car. The standard bracket that comes with the E90 is totally wrong for this application, but I'm in the process of making my own custom mounting points for the back of the gearbox, so it'll bolt to the automatic bracket and it'll also bolt to the car without any issues with the same space differential. Number 3, the flex disc, standard 320D flex disc. I haven't had a chance to measure its thickness, but at the same time you can use either the 320D flex disc that comes with that standard, or the other hot one is the E34 M20, slightly thicker. Again, it's up to you what you want to use. And I think that's it. Did I have any other trouble? I don't think I did have any more trouble. Oh well. Lack of gears. Fuck you, automatic transmission.